Have you ever had that moment where reality feels like it's conspiring in your favor? You're pushing, struggling, uncertain, and then suddenly, something shifts, a job offer comes through, a relationship turns around, a door opens that felt sealed shut, everything just clicks, almost like the universe whispered yes, and reality bent to your will. Now, here's the thing, most people chalk that up to luck, coincidence, random timing. But what if it's not? What if these moments aren't just happy accidents? What if they're intentional, part of a bigger system you don't usually see? What if those intense, make or break moments in your life are actually tests, placed in your path by the universe to ask you a single, powerful question? Are you really ready for what you say you want? I call these moments quantum trigger points, reality checkpoints, where everything tightens before it expands, where the world seems to push back just enough to test your alignment, your belief, your energy. And if you pass, things can change fast. In this video, I'm going to show you what they are, how to recognize them, and most importantly, how to navigate them so you don't just wish for change, you actually live it. Let's break down something that's often misunderstood. Manifestation is not magic. It's not about wishing really hard or pretending everything's fine until something good happens. Manifestation is alignment. It's the process of syncing your thoughts, emotions, and actions with a specific version of reality, the one where what you desire already exists. Think of the universe like a giant radio tower, constantly broadcasting infinite timelines, wealth, love, health, freedom. They're not out there in the future. They exist right now on different energetic frequencies. You don't create those realities. You tune into them. Imagine trying to listen to your favorite song, but your radio's stuck between stations. That's what it's like trying to manifest something from a place of confusion or in a conflict. Most people say they want something, more money, better relationships, peace, but underneath, they're vibrating with doubt, fear, and scarcity. They think positive thoughts, but feel unworthy. They say affirmations, but deep down don't believe them. They visualize success while expecting failure. This is misalignment. And the universe doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to what your energy is actually broadcasting. So here's the secret. Manifestation isn't about forcing something to happen. It's about becoming the version of you who already has it. It's not just intention, it's identity. The inner work is about calibrating your self-image, beliefs, and emotional state to the version of reality you're trying to access. When you're in a state, your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors matches the frequency of the reality you want. The outer world starts to shift automatically, often faster than you expect. You may suddenly meet the right person, land the opportunity, get the inspiration, or feel a deep sense of clarity you didn't have before, and it feels magical, but it's not. It's mechanics, energetic mechanics. The truth is, you're always manifesting. The question isn't if, it's what. What are you unconsciously aligned with right now? What version of reality is your current energy tuned to? If you're operating from fear, you're going to manifest resistance. If you're grounded in trust, clarity, and purpose, life begins to cooperate with you effortlessly. Manifestation is less about getting and more about becoming. It's not about chasing what you want. It's about embodying it so fully that the world can't help but reflect it back to you. Now let's go a level deeper into quantum physics. Stay with me, because this is where the science starts sounding a lot like spirituality. At the tiniest level of our universe, the quantum level, things get weird. Really weird. Subatomic particles don't behave like objects we're used to. They don't exist in one fixed state or place. Instead, they exist in what's called superposition, meaning they exist in all possible states at once. A particle isn't here or there. It's here and there, until something observes it. That's where the observer effect comes in. The moment we observe the particle, its probability cloud collapses into a specific state. In other words, observation turns possibility into reality. But here's what most people miss. Observation doesn't just mean looking through a microscope. In quantum mechanics, it includes conscious interaction, awareness, expectation, intention. And that means you, the observer, are shaping what becomes real. Let that sink in. You're not just watching the movie of life, you're actively projecting the next scene based on how you're focused, feeling, and believing. Now, this might sound like New Age fluff, but it's not. This is foundational in quantum theory. It's measurable. It's proven. The smallest units of our universe respond to being observed. Your consciousness literally influences physical outcomes. That's why your mindset matters more than you think. When you're expecting disappointment, you collapse into a version of reality that reflects that. When you truly believe in opportunity, worthiness, and expansion, reality begins aligning with that, too. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you expect, energetically and emotionally. And what mystics have been saying for centuries, that your energy creates your reality, science is now confirming in the lab. What they called vibration and alignment, physicists call wave function collapse. Here's the wildest part. Everything exists as a probability until you focus on it. Your attention, where you place your awareness, is like a paintbrush. It chooses the frame. It defines the form. That's why this matters so much in manifestation. You're not hoping things into existence. You're engaging with infinite possibilities and pulling one into your timeline with your focus and belief. So when we talk about quantum trigger points later, this is the foundation. If reality isn't fixed, if outcomes are influenced by your awareness, then those intense life moments that feel like tests, they aren't happening to you. They're happening through you. You're not a passive receiver. You're the one steering, moment by quantum moment. So what exactly is a quantum trigger point? It's one of those pivotal, emotionally charged moments when life throws you a curveball, not to derail you, but to reveal where you truly stand in your alignment. Think of it as a kind of pressure checkpoint. You've been doing the inner work, setting intentions, visualizing your goals, and just as something big is about to click, something disrupts the flow. It could be a heated argument right before you hit a new level of intimacy with someone, a sudden financial setback just as you feel more abundant than ever, a wave of insecurity or doubt surfacing right there before you step into a new opportunity. It feels inconvenient, frustrating, or even disheartening, but what if that's the point? These aren't signs that you're off track. They're signals that you're right on the edge of change. See, manifestation isn't just about calling something in and waiting for it to land. It's about embodying the frequency of the version of you who already lives that reality, and staying in that vibration even when the outside world hasn't caught up yet. A quantum trigger point is that moment when the external world lags slightly behind your internal shift. It's asking you, will you collapse back into the old self, or hold steady and let the new timeline lock in? These tests are subtle but powerful. They challenge the very identity you're trying to grow into, and most people, understandably, misread them. They see the friction and think, this must mean it's not working, but often, it's the exact opposite. It means you're being calibrated for the breakthrough. Trigger points act like mirrors. They don't ask, do you want this? They ask, have you truly become the version of you who can hold this? It's not about perfection. It's about consistency. Holding the energy of your future self when reality hasn't validated it yet. That's the real test. And passing it, that's when things start to move fast. Let's talk about how to actually pass these tests when they show up. Because once you're aware of quantum trigger points, you'll start noticing them everywhere. Those weird delays, last-minute conflicts, emotional spirals, all things falling apart right before something big is about to shift. They're not random, they're invitations. The question is, how will you respond? Here's how to navigate these tests with strength and clarity. Recognize the pattern. The first step is simple but powerful: awareness. When things suddenly get hard, weird, or emotionally intense, especially after you've just set a big intention. Pause. Don't freak out. Ask yourself, is this resistance? Or is this a trigger point? If it feels like life is pushing back right after you've taken a leap, it's probably a test. Once you can label it, you stop reacting unconsciously and start responding from awareness. Regulate your emotion. These moments are designed to stir something up: fear, doubt, anger, insecurity. But emotions aren't bad. They're data, not destiny. Don't push them down. Witness them. Breathe through them. Let them rise and fall without letting them take the wheel. You're not here to suppress emotion. You're here to make empowered choices in the presence of emotion. Respond like your future self would, not your old pattern. Choose elevated action. Every test asks you to decide, will you play small or level up? This might mean setting a boundary, saying no to a comfort zone, investing in yourself, or letting go of something you thought you needed. It's rarely easy, but it's always aligned. Ask yourself, what action would the version of me who already has what I want take right now? Then do that, even if it's scary. Release attachment. This is the hard part. You've done the inner work. You've taken action. Now, let go. The more you obsess over when it's coming, the more you signal to the universe that it's not here yet, which just keeps it out of reach. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you trust the unfolding more than your need to control the timeline. Hold the vision, not the grip. Anchor the identity. This is the key. Manifestation responds fastest to identity shifts, not wishful thinking. Walk, talk, move, and show up like the version of you who already lives the result. Reality reorganizes itself when you do this consistently. Because when you pass the test, it's not just that something good happens. It's that you become someone new, and that version of you, they don't chase, they attract. Here it is, the final, and probably most misunderstood, part of manifestation: letting go. Not giving up, not walking away, but releasing the grip. Trusting that what's aligned for you, already on its way, maybe even closer than you think. Letting go is not a passive act, it's a frequency, a deep energetic signal that says, I know who I am. I know what I'm worth. I don't have to chase, force, or beg. I trust the process. It's powerful because it shifts you out of resistance and into receptivity. When you stop clinging to the timing, to the how, to the outcome, you create space. And in that space, quantum shifts can finally drop in. Often faster and more beautifully than you imagined. Now, here's the paradox. We're taught to hustle, push, and control. But in the quantum world, control is resistance. The more tightly you hold on, the more you signal that you don't believe it's coming, and the more you delay it. Surrender isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's knowing you've done your part energetically, the alignment, the intention, the identity work, and now it's time to step back and let the field do its part. Most people get stuck here. They try to micromanage miracles. They keep checking the results, refreshing the page, looking for proof. But the universe isn't a vending machine. It's a mirror. It responds not to impatience, but to presence. Letting go is how you tell the field, I trust this so deeply. I don't need to obsess over when it arrives. I'm already living it on the inside. And here's the kicker. Letting go doesn't just speed up manifestation. It also regulates your nervous system. It keeps your energy clean, your vibe high, your choices aligned. That's the sweet spot, calm, grounded, clear. Because in the end, manifestation isn't about chasing, it's about allowing life to rise up and meet the version of you that already knows it's done. Letting go is the final unlock, the energetic exhale that turns intention into reality. So let's bring it home. When life feels weird, intense, uncertain, it's not always falling apart. Sometimes it's testing you. Those moments of tension, of doubt, of delay, they could be your quantum trigger points. Moments where the universe isn't punishing you. It's simply asking. And if you recognize the test, Regulate your energy, take aligned action, and let go. You pass. And when you pass, the shift comes fast, not because you forced it, but because you finally became the version of you who no longer needs to chase what's already yours. If this hit home, give it a like, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more. Your next shift might be one click away.